Fall is here, so let's go ahead and make some creamer. You're gonna start with 1.5 cups heavy cream, half and half or whole milk. I recommend heavy cream. 2 tablespoons pumpkin puree. If you don't like pumpkin, go ahead and substitute dark chocolate here. Works just the same. You're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sweetener. I use maple syrup personally for a maple pumpkin, a teaspoon spices, a teaspoon vanilla, but who are we kidding? We all know we measure that with our hearts, so go ahead and add some more. You're going to combine this over medium heat until well mixed, and then you can go ahead and store this in a jar up to a week in your fridge. Just make sure to shake it before each use. Enjoy. Happy coffee drinking. All right, you all twisted my arm. Let's dive into some cookie recipes, and this one's super simple with only 4 ingredients. We've got Bisquick. I like the little maple syrup brown sugar bits because I can. Sweetened condensed milk, 14 ounces, 1 cup peanut butter, creamy. You could do like a special nut butter if you're like more health conscientious, but I mean, it's got a whole can of sweetened condensed milk. Who are we kidding? Add pecans or like Heath bits on top if you're feeling fancy, or maybe like some caramel. And then what you're gonna go ahead and do is that 1 cup peanut butter to a 1 cup Bisquick to 1 can sweetened condensed milk. Seriously, the simplest recipe ever. Obviously, add some vanilla because you can. A bit of flaky salt is delightful. You could do a little bourbon if you're feeling bougie, but really it's whatever you want. Mix that up. This is the texture you're looking for. It's nice and soft, squishy, kind of like Play-Doh, really. These do not spread in the oven, so make sure to make them the shape that you want them to end up in, really. Don't forget to chill these puppies for an hour. I often chill them in the freezer, so I always have them on hand. Decorate to your liking with your toppings of your liking. I had caramel bits. And this is what you want the bottom of your cookie to look like. A little golden brown. They don't really bake up much browner than that. But this brown will give you like a soft cookie. If you want them crunchier, cook them longer. So I do 13 minutes, but you could go for 14 probably. Don't ask me how, but I managed to explode all the butter I had left in the fridge, in the microwave when trying to melt it for banana bread. And then everybody decides to make a bunch of noise when I'm trying to film.
You're so noisy.
Sidian. Oh, and the dogs decide to make a bunch of noise too. I think they just wait until it's quiet and then they decide to play so they get extra attention or something. Anyways, let's get back to this banana bread. So I'm doubling the recipe to make 2 loaves of gluten-free banana bread, not just bananas, banana bread. So that's about 4 to 6 bananas, and when mashed, that should be about 2 cups of bananas. I'm adding it here to my bowl of melted Crisco because I exploded my butter. And that's it's 2/3 because we're doubling 2/3 butter or butter substitute. You're gonna add 4 eggs, beat them up together. I like half brown sugar and half white sugar, so 3/4 cups of each, or 1.5 of your preferred. Delightful. I'm using just a bowl and a spatula for this because I don't want to overmix anything, especially with using a gluten-free flour. I want to make sure everything stays nice and light and fluffy. And I'm using Namaste in this recipe, but you could easily use Pamela's or even like Bob's gluten-free flour, but I find Bob's to be a bit heavier, which is better for like a biscuit and less good for baking something that you want light and fluffy. So teaspoon vanilla, but you can measure that with your heart. Pinch salt. Mix it in. De-chunk your brown sugar, which I should have done earlier, but who the heck cares? 1.5 cups flour. Oh wait, we're doubling, so that's actually 3 cups flour. I'm adding some spice. You don't have to, but I really like the way it smells. So I'm adding a combo of nutmeg, pumpkin pie spice, a little bit of coriander, and cinnamon. And it smells delightful when baking. Kind of combine this until it looks well mixed, and you can add a cup of chopped nut if you prefer, and I'm using pecans here because I actually hate walnuts. I don't know about you guys, but I hate walnuts. Anyways, mix this puppy up, and then this is 2 loaves. I personally don't like spraying my pans, so what I'm going to show you here is how I use parchment paper to line my pans, and magic gets done. As for using any gluten-free flour, if you ever have any questions about converting a recipe, you can reach out to me. I don't have all the answers, but my best friend is gluten-free, so I find myself baking with it more and more. So, for instance, my Bisquick cookie there, you could substitute any biscuit or pancake mix that's gluten-free, or even like Pamela's gluten-free flour would be a good substitute, and then just add a little baking soda or baking powder, or perhaps even both, to make sure it's nice and fluffy. Anyways, banana bread goes in 350 for 50 minutes, and it will turn out with a nice beautiful crust, a little bit dense but also moist and fluffy. I prefer my banana bread to be warm with a pat of butter. How do you like to eat yours? Let me know in the comments below. All right, next I'm going to show you how to make some honey butter chicken. This is seriously such a simple, delightful recipe. The base of this recipe is honestly just a homemade chicken nugget, which is also phenomenal. So you're going to use a boneless, skinless chicken breast, and you're going to cut things into about 1-inch cubes. The main thing here is trying to get them as uniform as possible so everything cooks evenly. I cut off the extra fatty bits and cook them up for my spoiled dogs. And then you're going to go ahead and dip them into a flour mixture, an egg mixture, and then back into a flour mixture. My flour mixture, I always add a little bit of dried mashed potato mix too. And then for my egg mixture, I always add a little bit of Dijon mustard too. And these are just my personal preferences. As far as the mashed potato, the reason I do it is I find it gives a really good flavor and adds a little bit of extra crispiness once fried. You could also use panko here if you wanted, but I find mashed potato to be cheaper and just easier. You can also use like a flavored mashed potato like garlic, or you could just add garlic, salt, white pepper like I do here in this video. So as you can see, I put them in the flour mixture lightly, and then into the egg, and then back into the flour. So you're going to want to preheat your oil to 350 degrees, and you're going to want to cook the chicken 3 minutes, or about 4 minutes. But really what I do is I double fry mine because I like the way it tastes. I think it gives an extra crispy chicken nugget. Now the sauce is truly what makes this recipe delightful. You're going to use half butter and half honey, and then what I actually do is add some extra salt and some everything bagel seasoning because I like the sesame seeds and I think the garlic is really nice. But really it's just half butter and half honey. Then you're going to dredge your chicken nuggets with it. Yellow was a poor choice in bowl, but it's fine. Go for it. Mix it all up, and it is seriously a family favorite. This is a delicious, delicious recipe. The homemade chicken nuggets are so tender and juicy. The way I typically kind of prepare this plate is with just some simple rice and some simple steamed broccoli, because truly you want the chicken to shine in this. So that was a long day of cooking together. Even though it was only a few minutes for you, I cooked several recipes and managed the rest of my day-to-day life. But I really enjoyed sharing everything with y'all. If you want any other recipes, let me know. Drop some suggestions and comments below. Or if, you have suggestions on things I could do differently. I know I'm very new to this. The audio might be all over the place. The music might be too loud. Any of that, I would love feedback on. things you like, things you don't like. Any of that is really valuable information to me. I hope you enjoyed these recipes. Like I said, if you have any questions on converting something to a gluten-free recipe, I'll do my best to give my attention to you and help you through that process. I'm not an expert by any means, but I am kind of a novel baker and I try to do my best. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the honey butter chicken. Like I said, if you don't like pumpkin, substitute dark chocolate. It's so good. And yeah, enjoy these. Let me know if you tried them, or tag me on Instagram or something if you do try them. Post a picture, tag me in it. I would love to see that. All right, well, until next time, beauties, we'll see you in the next episode, and hopefully it's soon.